It's time for another installment of Readus learns that common sense isn't really that common now, is it? Jesus Christ! Readers, ever since the Wonder Woman movie came out in 2017, Diana has been proving that there is indeed hope for the DCEU. She did it so well that not only was Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman movie listed as one of the best superhero films of 2017, but both she and Gal Gadot are coming back for the currently untitled sequel Wonder Woman 2, which is slated to be released on November 1st, 2019. Now, of course, we all know this given the recent news reports that have been coming out ever since DC Films established that they're going to be making some changes to the DCEU. It all makes sense that a good amount of the changes that DC Films are about to make to the DCEU should start with one of the most popular characters in the current slate of movies. But what also makes sense is that due to all the recent movements and statements and social justices that pretty much finally prove that at least 75% of all the men in Hollywood are trash, Wonder Woman 2 is going to be the first movie to utilize the Producers Guild of America's brand spanking new guidelines for anti-sexual harassment. Now you're probably watching this wondering to yourself what kind of guidelines need to be incorporated outside of treat other people the way that you want to be treated, don't be a creepy perverted asshole, and basically be a decent human being. Because honestly, nope. Shit's too real for me to be casually joking about that hashtag. Nope. Not I, said the cow. I have also wondered what type of guidelines need to be established outside of the obvious. That's better. Which is why for this Readus Reacts, I want to personally take a closer look at the PGA's new guidelines. And the first thing I'm going to read is how to identify sexual harassment. Mostly because it's the first thing on the list. Which is when a job, promotion, or other professional benefit is conditioned on the recipient's submission to sexual advances or other conduct based on sex, or such benefits are denied an individual because they refuse to participate in a romantic or sexual activity. And some examples are as follows. A producer agrees to cast an actor or actress only if she, he, or they submits to sexual requests. Or when a financer threatens to pull funding from a project because of an individual refusing to submit to sexual requests. Now readers, as an individual who personally has common sense, I accept the fact that everything that I just read, including the examples, does fall under the definition of sexual harassment. It just pains me that there are people who don't. Like, how is it that there are real life people in this universe that never consider this to be sexual harassment? Like, seriously, what kind of privilege did you grow up with believing that everybody needs to touch your dick in order for their dreams to come true? And clearly the dick ain't shit, otherwise you wouldn't be blackmailing motherfuckers. Let's move on, I'm getting upset. Hostile work environment. This includes unwelcome verbal, physical, or visual conduct that is severe or pervasive, and which creates an intimidating, hostile, or offensive work environment or interferes with work performance. You may experience such sexual harassment even if the offensive conduct was not directed towards you. Some examples: making sexually explicit or derogatory comments or jokes, either out loud or via email, inappropriate touching or groping, visual conduct that includes making sexually suggestive gestures or publicly displaying sexually suggestive or explicit images. Once more, I'm just astonished at the fact that people don't already know not to do this. And I say this because I've experienced this level of idiocracy with my own eyes and ears at my old job. Every opportunity he had, my old office manager would locker room talk with me and my other coworkers about how much sex he was getting with his not wife, and would just regularly degrade the shit out of every single sex worker that he experienced. All the while in my head I was just like, dude, I don't care how much of a hoe you'll be in this past weekend. I'm trying to get these spreadsheets done. And it just made me realize one day, wow, he's probably not the only person in existence who's like this. Jesus fucking Christ. Here are some common misconceptions of harassment according to the PGA. A hug, kiss on the cheek, or casual touch is not necessarily sexual harassment. The key is whether the behavior was unwelcome or offensive. Common sense. It does not matter if a person has sexual feelings toward the recipient, only that the behavior is of a sexual nature and that it was unwelcome and or offensive. Common sense. Sexual harassment laws do not create a general civility code. Personality conflicts or non-sexual insensitive actions do not in and of themselves constitute sexual harassment. Makes perfect sense. Sexual harassment is gender neutral and orientation neutral. It can be perpetrated by any gender against any gender. Oh my God. Say it again for the homophobic, transphobic, misogynistic, toxic masculinity spreading assholes in the fucking back. Now the rest of this document contains information in order to keep this shit from happening, proper protocols in the case that it does, and various resources that one can call or contact. And if you want to read the guidelines in its entirety to yourself, the link is in the description below. But readers, the fact that this set of guidelines and explanations exists in general means that we got ourselves a problem. Either people aren't being properly educated on what sexual harassment is, why either certain mindsets or casual talks are incredibly inappropriate, or, and this is unfortunately more than likely to be the case, motherfuckers just don't care. Either because they're not willing to change or they think they can honestly get away with it. And while I'm indeed thankful that 2019's Wonder Woman 2 is going to be the first movie in which these guidelines are going to be strictly enforced, as a person who's always been interested in working in Hollywood, it just makes me think of how bad it was before then. As far as what we can do to keep these things from happening, hey! I got an idea! How about we treat other people the way we want them to treat us? Shot in the dark, I know. But fuck it, let's try it anyway. Anyway, readers, your homework assignment for the day. Write in the comment section below your opinions of Wonder Woman 2 being the first movie in which these anti-sexual harassment guidelines are going to be incorporated in making movies. Because I'm curious, were you as surprised as I was to find out that the majority of the shit that they were talking about in this document was just, I don't know, things that we just knew that we are not supposed to fucking do? Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because I post new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and every other Friday. But until then, this is Readus 101. Class dismissed.